All right. Hello, everyone. As you make your way into this live broadcast, today we are talking all about how difficult and intimidating and uncomfortable approaching somebody either on the fitness center floor or in the Pilates studio or just in front of the gym on your way in, and approaching them with the mindset and the thought of potentially hiring you as a personal trainer or a private Pilates instructor. So my name is Stacey Alden. I am the overseer of this channel, and I'm so grateful for Chris Stevenson to be here today to join me as I ask him these tough questions about approaching a potential client on the floor. To give you a little background on Chris, he is a previously 20-year veteran owner and gym owner and manager and all around expert of taking care of thousands of members. And along with that, it was full service. So having personal trainers and private instructors and group fitness classes. So his knowledge and that experience has now taken him to the consulting business. And he is also a presenter and educator at conferences like IDEA and Club Industry, and that's actually where I met him, was at a fitness conference watching one of his great presentations. So I'm really excited to bring Chris here for you guys to listen to. And my first question for Chris is, what kind of a mindset do you encourage personal trainers, group fitness instructors, and even Pilates instructors to have as they approach a potential client?
Well, I think the first thing to remember is there's no nobility in undervaluing yourself. Now, I'm not saying be arrogant or cocky, but always remind yourself how important what you do is. And ultimately, at the end of the day, somebody pays for a membership or pays to take a class or pays for some training sessions, but what you're giving to them is far more valuable than money. When somebody changes their body and they like the way they look and they have more energy and they have less pain, and you make all these physical improvements, it's not just about weight loss and looking better. Confidence goes up, their ability to perform at their job goes up, their relationships are better because they're happier. So ultimately, as a fitness professional, whether it's Pilates, Group X, personal training, you're literally massively impacting people's lives. And that's a very valuable skill. So know your value and know what you provide. Now, in regards to selling and personal training, and the topic we're going to talk about too is understand that sales cycles sometimes take a while. Oftentimes, as a personal trainer or somebody trying to get somebody to sign up for Pilates or small group training, we expect it to go like this. So you walk up and you say, hey, would you like to do this? And they say no. And you say, okay, fine. Right. And to you, that's just somebody you talk to, they don't want to join, and that's over. But a lot of times, the sales cycle is longer, and you need to nurture a relationship for a long period of time because eventually they're going to need you. Very few people succeed on their own. It's just hard. Health and fitness is confusing. And, we need discipline, we need accountability, we need motivation, we need instruction. And so where somebody might try to do something on their own, at some point, they're probably going to hit a place where they're like, you know what, I need to get some help. So if you've been building and nurturing that relationship over time, when they need help, you're going to be that go-to person. And then finally, and this is important, is don't globalize. We think of sales as this bad word. So don't think of it as sales, think of it as solving. We're just helping people solve their problems, and we're going to facilitate those solutions, right? So it's not selling, but what happens is, we ask one person, hey, would you want to buy some sessions with me? And they say no, and you're like, oh man, and they walk away and you go, everyone says no, this is horrible. Nobody wants to buy training. I'm just not good at selling, right? And truth is, again, you didn't get in this industry to sell. Nobody's like, I think I'm going to become a trainer because I can't wait to sell personal training packages. You want to help people, you want to change their lives. But the only way to do that is to provide solutions to people, right? So it's not a bad word, and just don't globalize. The reason somebody didn't buy today could have been they were having a terrible day and just wouldn't have bought anything anywhere from anyone. Or maybe your approach wasn't great that day. But remember, that's one isolated moment. Do not globalize because it's so easy to do that.
I love that. And I love just reminding people too that what we're selling in fitness is so valuable. Like, it's not like we're trying to sell cars, which cars are important too, but I would not want to. I prefer selling fitness over selling a car. So we're fortunate.
I agree with you 100%.
We're fortunate in that aspect. So let's dive into your step-by-step process or system that you recommend trainers and instructors have when they are approaching a client on the floor.
Sure. So, teeing it up with everything we just talked about the mindset, the first thing you want to do, because oftentimes you're at a club that either, they give you a quota or you have a personal quota because obviously you want to make money, you want to go to your client base. So they say, go talk to people on the floor. And a lot of times I see fitness professionals fail because they try and they walk up to somebody who's, on the lat pull down and they say, hey, can I show you a different way to do that? Or you're not doing that quite correctly. And people are off put and that doesn't go so well, or they reluctantly let you show them and then that's it. You want to put a process behind it so that you feel good about what you're doing, so that the member has a good experience as this happens. It doesn't come across as this, instantaneous sales pitch. So the first thing you're going to do is plain and simply is introduce yourself and get to know a little bit about the person. So what you want to do is you want to simply go up and be like, obviously wait for that right moment. Don't go in the middle of a heavy deadlift right while they're lifting. Be like, hey, I'll introduce myself. But you're going to walk up to somebody in between sets while you see them resting. I even tell trainers, sometimes find an excuse, re-rack a dumbbell near the person, or, go spot clean the mirror or something, an excuse to put you near that person. And then simply introduce yourself. Be like, excuse me, I don't think we've ever met. My name is Chris. What was your name? Oh, Stacy. So nice to meet you. So that introduction is really important in that name exchange. Once you exchange names, it personalizes the whole experience and everybody feels just a little more comfortable. Now it's not somebody coming up to pitch something. It's just somebody introducing themselves. From there, you want to go out and you want to build some rapport. Now, what this looks like is asking, appropriate personal questions at that time. So I might say, after I introduce myself and I get Stacy's name, I say, Stacy, how long have you been a member here? And she says, oh, I've been a member for a year. Oh, fantastic. Do you like it? Oh, I love it here. Oh man, I've been training here for a year and a half. I love it too. It's just such a cool, good environment. So it's that small talk conversation again that adds to after the introduction to make everything very comfortable and just a very relaxed environment. So ask those questions. You can ask them what they do when they're at the club. Do you take classes, or, especially if you're a group X instructor, or do you use a weight room? Just ask them very surface level, but good, questions that give you good knowledge so you know how to go from there. So first is the intro, then it's build rapport. From there, this is the part where you want to ask workout-oriented questions, right? So now let's just say, for example, as I approached Stacy on the floor, went through those first 2 steps, she's doing a deadlift, right? And I said, I noticed that you're deadlifting, and then ask more about that. And I like complimenting and then suggesting. So what people don't like, even if they're doing it horribly wrong, right? They don't like necessarily being immediately corrected. So if I was like, are you deadlifting, Stacy? And she says, yeah. I said, that's terrible. Your back is really rounded. You're lifting with your back. You're not getting the hips engaged. That's just off-putting, right? So what you want to say is, you know what? I love seeing people deadlift. It's one of those exercises that works the entire body. It's so important for core, for legs. That's just literally one of my favorite exercises. So start with sort of complimenting and then suggest, say, do you mind if I give you just a quick suggestion on this? And by the way, part of the intro is letting them know that you're a trainer or an instructor. So they know you're not just some random, you're not part of the cleaning staff now correcting their deadlifts. I might not have said that before. But, so then I say, here's what I'd like you to do is just make sure that you really lock the arms and squeeze the shoulder blades and try to extend the hips and knees at the same time. Here, why don't you do a couple? I have Stacy do a couple and tell her, much better. That's really great. Could you feel the difference? And you want to get her to say yes. Can you feel the difference? You see how that might work a little bit better, huh? So after I've introed, built rapport, now I'm complimenting and suggesting. And then from there, what you want to do is then go into the offer. Now, the offer is all based on your structure and how it works at your club. But from there, what I would say is, you know what, Stacy? I know you're doing deadlifts. Is this leg day for you? It is. I don't have a client for another 30 minutes. You mind if I take you through some other exercises that are similar to deadlift that I think would really benefit you in your workout? And that leads right into a nice, easy introductory session, right? And then from there, if they agree to that, then you go into whatever your normal pitch would be, which is a whole nother interview, right? Where you go into that whole topic. But that's how that works. Or let's say, for example, you don't have time, but you say, you know what, Stacy? I actually have a client coming up, but I'd love to show you some more based on what you're doing here. Why don't we go ahead and always be proactive about it? Why don't we go ahead and book you a 30-minute session where I could show you a couple exercises? Because I think you'd really get a lot out of it. Okay. And again, if they say yes, you get them booked, you go through all those normal protocols, do a great session, close them, and all of a sudden they become a regular client. Now, the flip side, though, is, and again, remembering a sales cycle could be longer, you make sure you follow up. So let's just say Stacey says, no, I'm good, but I really appreciate it. Then you're going to be very gracious and say, no worries at all. I just want you to know that you've always got help and support here. If you ever have any questions at all, please let me know, and I'll be happy to answer those. And a matter of fact, you could even offer to, and I'll keep an eye on you when you're here now that we know each other and just help you out whenever I see. Is that cool? Okay. So again, just building rapport. It's a great experience for everyone, whether to say yes or no. And again, eventually Stacy's going to need the help. Now that's hypothetical, Stacy. Obviously you're a fit pro. You'd never need the help, but your average gym member is going to need that help, and they'll remember you from that experience. So again, intro, rapport, compliment and educate, or compliment and correct, make your offer, and then follow up. That's the key. And that's a seamless process. It's fun. You're sincerely going out there to get to know somebody and see if you can help them. It's not really a cold call sales attempt.
I love that. I love all of it. And I do have to say, even in the beginning, when you're getting to know somebody, throwing out the question of, how long have you been a member? Because that in itself can give you so much education on where they may be in their fitness journey, where they're coming from. And some members who've been there for a really long time are going to love saying, I've been a member for 25 years.
Yep.
they love saying that. So giving that question, I think, is a great way to start the conversation.
Yeah, I mean, you find out how they feel about like you said, they're proud to have been there so long, or maybe they're brand new, and that's going to adjust your approach as well. And you're going to say, oh, wow, a month? Oh, so you're really new, and that's going to approach the way you then pitch them on, doing a complimentary session or something like that.
Totally. And then really the last question I have for you, Chris, is how as managers can we help lead our personal trainers, private Pilates instructors, and even group fitness instructors to help them feel more comfortable, help encourage them to experience the process of approaching a member about your services?
A couple things. One, I had heard the term VARC, which is visual, auditory, reading, and kinesthetic, right? So the different ways people learn. So you want to make sure that you teach people in all of those methods. One, that way they're getting the information in different ways, but also people receive it better in different ways. So you might be the type of person who watches this video and nails it, or you might need to be the person that role plays it over and over again, or reads the transcript of this, or listens to it on your, in a podcast, right? So you want to provide it in all those different ways, and then ultimately role play, and then observe and coach the behavior. So when you're with your staff member and you say, okay, there's your opportunity. Let's go. Watch them do it, bring them back, review it. How did it go? And kind of help and coach up that behavior. But yeah, role play. With anything, again, the VARC always works. You want to do those different modalities, but role playing, as much as some people absolutely hate it, is one of the most powerful ways, because it's the closest you can be to the real thing.
Definitely. And I have to say too, real quick, on following up, the concept of following up as a trainer, I know our facility does equip our trainers with their own personal business card. How do you suggest they handle just handing out their business card, or how does that follow-up, the most valuable follow-up, look like?
Well, I think structured and predictable follow-up is the best. So rather than surprising people, right, I would tell you, Stacey, so, and this could be also after, let's say, an introductory session where you do a formal session and somebody doesn't purchase, you're going to say, you know what, I'm going to follow up with you because I want to make sure that although you're not ready to buy training at this point, or you're not, I'm sorry, you wouldn't say that. You're not willing to work together. That sounds bad. Sorry. I know it's not in the plans to work with myself right now. However, I'm going to follow up with you on a regular basis just to make sure you feel comfortable that you get the results you're looking for, right? So in our particular example today, it might be like, you know what, I'll follow up with you in a few weeks, and just to make sure you feel like you're on track and that everything's going well. But let them know. That way you're not just reaching out and out of the blue, right? You're letting them know, hey, this is coming, and I care about you, and I want to make sure you get results whether you're with me or not.
Definitely. And it's so good for, I think, them to be proactive about reaching out to them versus asking them to reach out to you, because that's going to make that sales cycle much longer for them to find your card. And
it's true. And I will tell you that, again, it's sometimes harder, but I've seen a million cases where a trainer says, yeah, if you're ever interested, here's my card, go ahead and give me a call. That you might as well just not have a lead anymore. Right. I mean, that's how it works. You want to proactively follow up because it shows that, that you care about the person, that you're invested in their success, and then it'll actually happen.
Yeah, no, I love it. Well, everyone, I really hope that you found this video to be valuable and has really helped you as not just a personal trainer, but as Chris and I were talking about before this video, Pilates instructors and even group fitness instructors, making your way around the fitness center floor and building that rapport with potential participants in your classes is going to really help build the numbers in your classes as well. And if this was a video that you did enjoy and you wouldn't mind just hitting the like button for this video, that'll let me know that this content is something that's valuable to you and is something I can continue to create with other fitness professionals. And if you'd like to subscribe and then maybe remind yourself with those notifications whenever I am going live with someone or posting my own videos. And Chris is, I would love for him to give you his information as far as where to reach him as well when it comes to consulting and more information.
So you just search Chris Stevenson or Stevenson Consulting on all major social platforms. And then if you'd like to email me, if you have any questions, it's chris@stevensonempowers.com. That's STEVENSONEMPOWERS.com.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Chris.
My pleasure. We'll see you again soon.